concerns, Mr. McKee?
I remember from the last meeting, I think it was last meeting, anyway, never did hear any discussion if we was gonna try to help with the baseball program. We talked about it, and I knew it was out of sync with what, guidelines that we've established, but, I do know the season coming shortly, we just, maybe, I'd like to have us to revisit that, see if there's something we can do to help that.
I'd like to comment on that if I can, Mr. McCann. I spoke with Greg Lambert. Greg's a good friend of mine. He was a colleague of mine whenever I worked at Guy Valley High School. And he felt like that he had spoke with the commission. This is prior to me getting elected. And I don't know whether he actually spoke to you or not, but I think he had spoke to some other, I don't know if it was you, but it was the other commissioner and some other people. And he's actually trying to, from that conversation, he felt like that he was going to be able to get some funding for the scoreboard. And he had been actually he's been soliciting contributions, he's been actually doing everything that he possibly can to get those contributions for that scoreboard, with the kind of the verbal agreement that the county commission would help. And this is prior, and I don't know whether you knew about any of this conversations or not, but Greg is a very, very, he's a trustworthy guy. If you have coaches that are out there and they're going that extra mile, and that's kind of what he's been doing. He's been seeking funding, he's been working hard to try to develop, the field, and they've done a lot down there. And I think that it was his impression that the county commission was going to help, and this was prior to us putting in place a contribution policy. All right, and I think that he was just unaware of the effects of the contribution policy, and he didn't, he was busy coaching, and I can understand that. Whenever you're coaching, you don't have time for much of
I
anything.
received a letter from him. Did you make a copy of that letter? Did you? Okay. And he was requesting funding at that time, and, I think in talking, I think amongst ourselves, as far as the timing for baseball and things like that, but I don't think he specified in the letter that the amount or what they were going to use it for.
Well,
he said there were several different things, but, having gone back with Greg, he and I played basketball together many years ago on teams and things, so I know him really well, and I think he does have, since he's grown up, he's a much better person. and I think he cares about people. I think he cares about the kids.
But I think,
if I may, I was once the head coach of the baseball team at Lincoln County High School. And I will tell you that they've come a long ways since I have resigned that position 4 or 5 years ago.
Amen.
Facility-wise. They talk about wins and losses, but facility-wise. However, it's embarrassing for some of these schools like Hurricane and Winfield and that have Cabell Middle. And this is Southern West Virginia has always been prideful with baseball, and we didn't have restrooms over there, or scoreboards, or it's just not it's not comparable to other AAA schools in the state of West Virginia. And I'm telling you, any baseball coach will tell you, and I've coached all 3: baseball, football, and basketball. Being a baseball coach is a harder job than any of them. And Greg's working hard. I was down at his indoor facility the other day, and he solicited some money from this, and I would love to see the baseball program get some help over there.
well, I was thinking with, that, I think there was a verbal commitment, and I think that he's been working to fill his end of the bargain, basically. And if there was anything that we could possibly do, I know it's kind of like tying up loose ends.
Why don't, I think if he gave us some idea.
I think it was about $5,000 is what it was, and I know that's outside of our contribution policy, but I think this was kind of like it was a verbal, we can help you out, we're gonna try to help you out, and he's been working towards this, and I think that,
What we did, first time, we gave him $25,000 to get off the ground, and then we told him we'd try to help him as we could, as we did other athletics groups over there, so.
I tell you,
There's one other thing, we still have one thing out there we never did finish. We always told the soccer people we'd try to help them more. We have not really done our share on that. If they get the road in there, we do more to help them. Just keep that in mind. Just work through this.
Well, what I'd like, if we could, you guys know Greg, just have him send the commission a letter. He's already sent me one personally, but
Right.
just have him send the commissioner a letter asking us, or telling us what he needs, and then then we can act on it.
Yeah, and I mean, I would recommend doing it based on, the conversation, that he was telling me, that he was working towards something. I mean, I can understand when you're working towards something, and you feel like that you're gonna have a little additional funding, and you're kinda counting on that.
Well, I talked with some
And,
employees there, they were, I run into them at one of the restaurants, and they had brought this up, and I told them to submit a request to the commission.
Right.
So, but if he'll do that, I'm sure we can help him out with it, and I think we might wanna ask the soccer people what they need too, because, when we set up our contributions, a lot of it was devoted to the schools, as far as those type things, so,
I think that, but with this particularly, I think that this was something that he was working towards, and I think this was prior to the contribution policy coming into place. And I feel like that would be, I don't know, I feel like it would be wrong to do that if we did. Just kind of give you a heads up.
I think that's the best way. Go ahead, Mr. McCann. We didn't mean to jump in on your time.
Y'all doing good. Being a baseball coach is a tough job.
It's a very tough job.
I tried that once a few years back.
We got him out there for the early.
Hey, you were there. I just look at things, McCorkle has some things on the building, it is our building, and I just thought maybe noted that when I seen it there, what may need to help them get some things repaired over there, so I want to look at that and let them know by the next meeting.
Maybe we could put that out, do we not bid that out?
I'm not sure what I was on there for each item, but there's several things that need to be done. I just want some things, housekeeping, and want some painting. And the other thing, Eddie Smith, I know he talked to some of y'all too, but anyway, just since we got a public meeting, he definitely has got some, maybe think of baseball stuff that probably nobody really wants apparently, but he wanted to make sure if there's anybody before he throws it away that might need that, or if we had some place that we wanted to store it as a commission. And I told him I didn't think we had any place, but I'd bring it up, see if he's got like an outbuilding full of boxes of, I think he termed a lot of it was coaching paints and some of that kind of thing. But he'd give a lot of stuff away, but he bought it as warehouse sale. He just wanted to still store it away, wanted to see if there's any new stuff. He said if you need it, just let him know, and let Mary know, and I'll get to him, whatever. But if there's any need out there, somebody, let us know. He's got it to give. That's all I have.
Mr. Matthews.
I think maybe what we could do with that is, when we put that on our website, we just post that on our website, and, if there's anybody that wants any, baseball clothes, something from Eddie, then, to get in contact with him, or Mr. McCann, or, something to that effect. I think this with the Corporate Community Center, maybe we could put that out for bid, and to get it done. Can we do that?
Well, they, remember the $6,000 grant that
Yes.
the community center got, so they get 3 of that. And part of it was for the air conditioning unit or something,
Right.
which has already been taken care of, and we contacted the state grant lady, and she said it's improvements to the building. She said, so as long as this was improvements, so they could use that money
Okay.
for some of these things.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, I did document that in
That'd be great.
She said we didn't have to change the scope because it didn't say
right. Well,
HVAC or improve, or how, it was
right,
worded correctly,
we don't have to
so.
officially change the scope, but we want to document that they'd already got it fixed, and we're using the monies for other improvements and
okay.
stuff.
Sorry.
And I've wanted to make sure that this coming year, if, through the EDA, if we could go ahead and start addressing a zoning board. And I was actually been in contact with Mr. John Grass, about that. And I'd like to do that through the EDA if we could, and I guess I could talk to Larry about that, to see if we could try to get some things together so we can have some type of zoning across our county and what that would entail. Been working with, went and saw Walt Helmick with Larry Stutler and our two delegates regarding, we actually talked about some economic development in the area of agriculture. I think the Lincoln County probably has some opportunities that we could probably capitalize on, and I think we're going to try to take the necessary steps to do that. Commissioner Helmick was very interested in our what we were doing with our farmers markets across Lincoln County. I've talked to some commissioners in Boone County, and from what it looks like to me, I think that we've really taken the lead with this. Whenever you're looking at other counties around us, around Lincoln, and as far as putting fresh foods in our population centers where people can access fresh food. So we're still working on that, and that's about all I have. Oh, one other thing is I was talking to some people from the veterans, the VA, about a program that they have for veterans who are 10% or more as far as their disability is concerned. If you have 10% or more and you're getting disability, that the VA will actually sponsor you if you would like to get into agriculture. I'm talking, when I say sponsor, I'm talking they will buy your tractors, they will, and it's a program that goes through the VA. So we may have a lot of disabled veterans we may have a significant number of disabled veterans in Lincoln County. And if they are considering going into agriculture, it would be very important for them to get in contact with the VA. And if they want to call the commission office, I'm going to talk to Mary and give her some phone numbers of the people that they need to speak to, because this is a very, very good program. And agriculture is very therapeutic. It is. It has been in my experience. It's very, very nice. And this would help out, I'm sure, a lot of people. So, and that's all I have.
I just have a few comments. Number one, I'm glad our levy passed. I think that was a good job of those people involved. We did, Mr. McCann, we tested our voting machines to make sure they were working okay, and I guess we did a good job because they wound up voting the right way. I attended a healthcare forum last night. Sean was over at the Lincoln Primary Care Center, and we had several people there, Senator Stallings, Senator Unger, people from the oral health people from Charleston, some nutrition people there, and we were talking about different things as far as children's health and school-based health clinics and things of that nature. One of the things I brought up during the discussion was the fact that we looked at this Farms to Schools, that program, and kind of went into it a little bit more than I think most people had. And after the meeting, I got to talk with Senator Stallings, and I can't think of the lady that works with him, it's friends of his, but anyway, what we're going to do, we're meeting with the nutrition people, the agriculture people, the farm to schools people are going to meet with us, and I give him Mr. Matthews' number because he was on the extensions board that originally talked about this. But I brought up co-oping these type things that we'd already talked to a lot of farmers. They didn't want to be involved in the red tape associated with trying to get food into a site or into a school and things like that. And it was her, in our meeting, when we were talking there about it, she was thinking, I mentioned other counties that I felt this would probably be we could start here, but actually service boards of education in other counties. with this farm-grown produce and other things. And she suggested that she was gonna contact RISA's board as far as in this region and look at, she felt there was a real, not only a need, but they're actually trying to push these type of things as far as getting homegrown things into the schools. You know, and there's so many benefits from this, not the least of which is you get a lot of people that, I may know how to farm, or you may know how to farm, but we're kind of losing that as far as from the dads teaching the kids or putting them in the cornfields and having them work and things of that nature. But you can actually have people that have areas that used to be farmers can actually make enough money to support one or two members of their family that may help, and that may be their job too. So we're not only giving the people the jobs that know how to farm, we're also teaching them, their parents teach them. But you can actually, what we're looking at is logistics of having a centralized storage area or co-op or whatever, and work with the individual farmers in bringing in these things, but also work with the boards of education on what they need when. So that we will actually be able to have a contract with these people, provide what we can to them. And I think as, the problem I have when I talk with the individual farmers, and I've talked to a couple of, I call them big farmers down on Lower Mud River too that would participate, but they don't want to deal with setting up businesses and doing all the paper. They want to farm, which is what they like to do and they're good at. So our intentions would be to have the commission involved with the Board of Education, nutrition people, all these people that can make this happen, and actually work out the logistics of having a storage area, a way that we know what each individual school needs in the area, and we are able to identify that ahead of time so that our people can start growing. We may even have this start in the spring where we could actually get people that know they're going to be able to sell, 1,000 pounds of potatoes or whatever.
Is it like a broker?
Yeah, well,
We're
basically what we were talking about is forming a kind of a, everybody has something involved in as far as from the Board of Education and from nutrition people and things like that, from us at the commission level, and actually look at us working out a place where we could actually build a facility that would be able to house the vegetables that we need and things like that. Of course, I think this, would be an excellent thing to coordinate through the EDA as far as doing this, but there will be conversation in the near future. They've assured me of us meeting with these players to see how we can best do that.
Can I ask you a question? Could we try to coordinate that, with the EDA through the Hamlin market? See, at the Hamlin market would be kind of a centralized place. Maybe we could, because I know that I've talked to some of the farmers in the area, and maybe having some type of distribution center in Hamlin. And,
Yeah.
And that way we could do that.
It makes more sense because your numbers of students that would, you've got your students right there too. So,
Yeah.
and this is the other thing is involving the students in this process. I know they're involved with horticulture now, but we're looking at even expanding the businesses into greenhouses and things like that we might do.
From establishing that at the high school.
Yeah, or wherever it would be, what we want is, we wouldn't want it, it would have to be in an area where farmers could bring their produce and things like that, so it would have to be in an area that wouldn't be restricted to the point that, that we'd have problems with that. So all these would have to be worked out. I think the main thing we're looking at now is getting all the players at the table, because they're really, I think Senator Unger's also really positive about these type things.
Oh, yeah.
Is that we can actually help feed our kids healthier things, provide a service to the kids, but we can also establish a form of employment here.
That's right.
That no matter how little your farm is, you can benefit from it. Because I know a lot of people, I say, well, you used to grow corn all the way out, but there's no real way they know what market or this is. So what we would do as a co-op or as a group is say, okay, this is what's going to be needed next year in the schools. So we're going to need, and it's tremendous. I mean, in what numbers I saw from April Roach when she was here, the numbers are tremendous, and the income potential is real as far as bringing monies into the local area is tremendous when you look at this thing. I don't know the handout, one handout she had, it was several $1 million when we were looking at the surrounding areas as far as need. And so, to me, it's a lot better to have our people growing the produce here than have people in California grow it and send it here, you know.
Hey, I'll tell you what, when I was talking to Walt Helmy, one of the things that he said is just almost across the state, and this is kind of what his vision was, is to set up almost like Reese's, just like that's what you're talking about. Set up Reese's across the state where you have like a distribution center. And why don't we just go ahead and do that? Larry, why don't you just go ahead and take the lead on that?
Yeah, and I'm thinking as I listen to that, I don't know, for a physical, you need a physical plant or a place for that. I'm wondering how bad that old cannery is out there. What it costs to fix that up to use. You know, it has a history of produce reception, and I'm just wondering if that'd be a good, we own it.
Well, that's what, you know, I think the key is to make sure that we got the business there, and then, you know, we're gonna look at these type things like you're talking about, but I think the mechanism needs to be in place.
Right.
To where we know, you know, exactly, we've got the State Board of Ed and the State Nutrition, all them people working with us to make sure it works, and that's what they wanna do. I really got that last night. I think there has been a big push, but I think it's something that they're looking for a place to do this.
Right.
And I told them that we'd already invested some time and effort
Right.
into doing it, and so it just made sense, as they saw with the performance of Southern West Virginia Healthcare and Lincoln Primary Care Center, and what they're doing in the schools as far as school-based clinics. This was something new that they decided to do, and how they devised how to do it. Well, I think along that same note is we can do this with agriculture here. And I know that Commissioner Helmick's really positive about that too, so I think the timing's right, and we're, like I say, I think we're steps ahead of where other people are. So I think we may be able to bring these players in from Charleston and actually set it up and get this thing going, so.
Hey, one other thing, if you don't care. I went to the Guyan District 2013 Annual Awards, and we have a farmer here. Shib Robbins was Farmer of the Year in 2013 for the Guyan District. Just to give you, that's pretty amazing.
The potential's really here, fellas, and I
That's
think
exactly right.
we don't, you know, there's not a lot of people who want to come in here and make jobs, so that's, as far as I'm concerned, this is a good way to look at it.
You know, along that line, we have some summer feeding program in the school system. We should expand that, or go that farther step of having year-round school. You'd have a market there for fresh foods during the summer. That's the problem that farmers tell me is, you know, it's just hard to get that market in this, when their crops are.
Food doesn't wait around.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I just wanted to ask one question. Do we adjourn to the December meeting or to the where you certify elections?
No, we adjourned this to the December meeting,
Okay, just a
but
moment.
now we meet tomorrow at 10 o'clock for the canvas.
Yes.
And then, when the canvas is complete, whatever time that is, we meet Monday to certify it.
Okay.
So, with that in mind, I'll ask for a motion, we go ahead and adjourn.
I say.
We stand adjourned, thank you all.
Thank you.